I reckon. Tune them in. So our next race will be the men's D 3000. We have Alexander Jackson of Athletics Waverley, Long Ewan of Glen Huntly, Michael Johnston of Richmond, Reese Hadfield of Knox, James Maguire of Melbourne University, having his teammates supporting him. In the club rooms, Luke Sin of Doncaster, Zach Hunter of Box Hill, Craig Appleby of Knox, Zachary Norton of Geelong Guild, Charlie Close of Wellington, Caden Murray of Diamond Valley, Joji Maury of Richmond, David Sedia of Glen Huntly, Mark Stodden of Richmond, Jai Hadfield of Knox, Hamish Lazaro of Doncaster, William Garbaletto of Sandringham, Jordan Mason of Eureka, Ruben Howard of Glen Huntly, and Xavier Johnson of Mentone to round out our field. What are some of our C times looking like for this one, Michael?
Well, first of all, I'd like to point out, because I just love to correct you whenever I can, James. Ooh. Charlie Close of Williamstown, not Wellington. Sorry about that. I thought you were the club code expert. WTN being Williamstown Athletics Club. So, well, just want to get that right for Charlie.
I suppose you get what you pay for on these live streams, don't you?
Okay. Slap me. Oh, smack. I thought smack was off the track. Turns out he's in the commentary box.
So 8:59, Craig Appleby is the fastest of our C times. Zach Norton from Geelong Guild as well, an 8:59 PB or seed time to his name. Spanning down to Joji Maury and Xavier Johnson of Richmond and Mentone around the 9:20 mark. So 9 minute, what's that, James?
72s.
72s for 9 minute. Let's just wish all the boys across that mark. Oh, Alexander Jackson, 8:57. As well, he's put down. So there's a few 9:05s to 8:59s. Yeah, they'll be going 72, 73 second laps to try and run that low 9, if not break that 9 minute barrier.
I remember trying for so many years trying to break 9 minutes. Sometimes you place so much importance on just trying to get these milestone times. And 9 minutes is such a big one, just like that 2 minute 800. 4 minute or 5 minute 1500 even.
And that 2 hour marathon.
A 10 minute, 12 minute 3K. It's the even numbers always bring about milestones throughout your running career. I remember my first 6 minute 1500 when I was very young.
Hey, you know what?
A milestone's a
years
milestone.
ago.
Yeah.
I've got a fact for you. I remember my first sub 6 1500 on this track.
Oh, wow, there
we go.
Surprised there's not a statue out the front for you, James.
Nah, we want people to come to the venue, not spit on it.
Anyway, from Waverley out the front of our field is the athlete with the fastest seed time in Alexander Jackson. He is leading the field from Glen Huntly. Athlete David Sedia, I believe. Or is that Ruben Howard?
We'll check on the ID right as he comes through.
Knox, bit of a good showing in this race. A few athletes up the top end. Craig Appleby, an 8:59 man, sitting on the shoulder of our Waverley athlete, Alexander Jackson.
Yeah, so it is David Sedia that's sitting comfortably in that second position. Craig Appleby just on the outside. Looks like maybe he doesn't quite want to tuck in just yet.
So 2:24 would be the time they're looking for if this is a 9 minute group. The puddles have thinned in lane 1, the rain has stopped and the wind has died down. So good conditions for PBs, and 2:28 through that 800. So probably more at this point, looking around that 9:10-ish mark for the full 7.5 laps. But there have been a few sitting kickers traditionally across the night, so see how it all plays out. They're all tightly bunched, which means they've kind of made a concerted effort, a conscious effort to actually make it a little bit slow if the whole field is pretty tightly bunched.
Yeah, that's right. So
Appleby,
3:02. Yeah, 3:02 for the first K, so bang on 9:06. And I'd say these athletes still looking like to be in a good position to get into that 9 minutes. We'll see him pick it up, and sometimes that actually is quite a nice way to run the 3Ks, is to to kind of work into it and finish off with that strong last K.
The hardest K, obviously. Doesn't have to be a runner to work out that the last K is the hardest K.
Although I'm not so sure. I reckon when you know it's the last K, you can sort of just guts it out a little bit when you know the finish is there. If you think about, what that fourth K in a 5K.
So you reckon the second K is the hardest K of a 3K?
I reckon the K between 1500 and 2.5K.
Yeah,
is definitely the hardest.
Yeah. Could it be the first K?
Maybe.
Because maybe you're too tempted to go out really fast.
That's right. It's your first race of the season. It's your first milers club, and you're itching to get out. Yep.
So mentally, that might be the hardest K. Maybe not
Could
physically.
be. Yeah, not physically, but mentally.
Depends what the question is, I guess.
We should go back to this race because there's been a little bit of a change in the lead of Diamond Valley. Caden Murray taking over some of the work, and Craig Appleby again being there just to sit and tuck in. His teammates all coming along with him.
Caden Murray, athlete from Diamond Valley, a few years of experience in the junior ranks, a 17-year-old. Has done quite well at state champs and Milers Club races over the years. Appleby and was that Jackson
It's
from
the two
Waverley
Hadfield
as well.
brothers.
Oh, the Hadfields.
Yeah, the
Reese and
Hadfield
Jai
brothers.
Hadfield.
1 second separating their seed times. I'm glad that's kept them in the same race and not split them up.
You'd have to
between two.
assume.
Yeah,
You'd have to assume they're training partners,
I think so. But
being brothers and from the same club, or is that a bold assumption to make?
Well, they could just be super competitive.
Yeah,
Can't stand it.
So Garbaletto of Sandringham looking like he's wanting to make a little bit of a move around as well. Has a quick look at his watch and wonders, are we on pace for that sub-9?
Garbaletto's not wearing the next percent, is he? Are they just fluoro green spikes?
Don't put
Don't
the
tell
omen
me
on
he's
him
not
now.
wearing the
Don't put it on him
next
now.
percents. Don't tell me.
Craig Appleby all of a sudden looking really good.
Yeah, Appleby well experienced, and like we said, you can't underestimate that father strength.
The father strength. Did Craig Appleby a dad?
He sure
Or
is.
it man strength?
Yep, old man strength, father strength.
We didn't say old.
And as you say that, the father
That's a
strength.
well-known fact. You can't underestimate the old man strength, and
Okay, you go with it again.
it's fact.
And they were through 2K in about, just going back to the race if I may, they were going through 6:03, 6:04. So just ahead of that 9, or just above that 9-minute mark for the 3K. But Appleby, with his man strength,
Yep.
he is pulling away, and I reckon he'll close this last K quicker and be very, very close to that 9 flat mark.
Well, he just looks extremely strong there, Craig Appleby. He looks in a little bit of a league of his own. He's got the legs ticking over really nicely. His form looks fantastic. A few of the boys behind him asking how many laps left.
Yeah, Jai
Either a good
Hadfield,
sign or a bad sign.
the lovely long side of Hadfield. Garbaletto having another look at the watch.
Our early leader in Alexander Jackson from Waverley, just fading back into the field as well. We said sometimes the first K might be the hardest K.
Garbaletto looking really good there in third, sort of getting the pull along.
He is too.
We'll see if he can start to make a move and follow the theme of the races before us. But Craig Appleby, he's looking extremely comfortable there at the front.
Maybe a second or two over that 9-minute pace now. So 7:12, he went through in about 7:14. So yeah, he'll get the 9 minutes. He's looking great.
Starts to round the turn now, and he does. He just looks stronger and stronger each step. You can't discount the two behind him. If they can get a good sit, if they have a little bit of energy left in the system, you really can't doubt that. But the gap is getting bigger and bigger, just as I say that. So Appleby's going to come in with a lap to go, 7:48. So he should roll under that 9-minute mark as the two behind him try and make up the distance. But it seems to be a race in one. Craig Appleby.
Garbaletto is moving really, really well though. He's got a great running technique. You can see his heels flicking right up.
Very smooth.
I don't know him, but I'd assume that he's good at the shorter distances as well as a 3K, coming more from a 8:15 background rather than cross country.
There you go. These two boys behind are starting to gain a little bit of momentum. They've spotted Craig Appleby a fair bit of distance with 200 to go at 8:24 on the clock. You'd say he's pretty comfortable, but stranger things have happened as he rounds in with 150 to go. And I hate to keep banging on about it, but the old man strength is showing through, and it's shining extremely bright.
Man strength.
Man strength.
That's right. I tell you what, we've seen Garboletto look at his watch a lot throughout the race, and I reckon he's after that sub-9 minute, and I reckon he's got a bit of a whiff if he's seen it with 100 to go.
One would suspect so.
But Craig Appleby, fantastic running, 8:57. Can we get Garboletto under 8:59? I reckon he's done
Great
it.
running.
And he's,
I'll give it to him.
Yep. He's put his hands up in the air.
He's happy.
Can we just confirm if he is wearing the next percent?
He is.
He is wearing the
He's
next
got it on.
percent.
Our theory's rotten then.
So it's got him, the next percent could have got him to sub-9.
The mullet theory stands. The next percent theory is out the window.
out
He
the window.
proves us wrong.
Yep. You can wear next percents in.
Very strong finish
Johnson
from
come through.
Zach Norton as well, Geelong Guild athlete, strong closer. His PB a 8:59, so he finished pretty close to that as well. Zach Norton from Geelong Guild.
Great tough running there from Craig Appleby. And he's sort of broken that mould. I know he didn't lead the whole way, but he did take it from a fair way out and said, come get me if you can, and no one could get there. So great running from the front. As we see the field rounded out here, Williamstown athlete.
Charlie Close. Or was that
Thank
from
you.
Wellington, James?
Williamstown, okay. You don't have to.
So you're getting tired.
Yeah,
It's all good.
yeah.